Welcome back, everybody, to Content's Edge. I'm Ryan. I'm here with Parker. This is episode 4 or 5. I'm not even sure. We're going so fast with them. I can't keep up.
Content's Edge season 0, baby.
Season 0, yeah. Proof of concept, the POC. So we're here. Is that how people use that?
POC means a lot of things. Yeah, we're here.
How you doing today, Parker?
I'm a little sick today, Ryan. But I'm on like day 4.5 of being sick. So on the up, I think, hopefully. So I'm a little nasally. I'm eating a salad at the moment, which is maybe not the right thing to be doing during a podcast recording. But if you catch me eating during this recording and my mouth is a little open, it's because I'm breathing. So please don't judge me for that. My wife judges me for eating with my mouth open all the time, which is usually like if the food's really hot, I'm like, and she'll look over at me like, you're smaking like. So, I'll try to be mindful of that.
Yeah, I saw a post a while ago that's like there's 2 types of people in this world. There's the people who blow on their food, and there's the people who when it's too hot. And I'm definitely the second.
Yeah, I'm definitely a hot. Yeah, that's me all the way. For life.
For life, yes, dude. Food's too good. You gotta eat it while it's hot.
Yep.
Well, I had an interesting morning actually. I was on a bit of a side quest today. So today was actually the pre-release day for the new set of Disney Lorcana. So me and my wife, we played the game together, and we drove to Disneyland for the pre-release for the new set Wilds Unknown. So I got a booster box here.
This is a trading card game, right?
It's a trading card game that's all Disney IP, and this is the first time they launched with Pixar characters. So this set has Toy Story being the front-running IP.
Oh,
so
it's always Toy Story.
We got a few. We got Brave in here too now. So this is like a box with packs in it. And the real reason we go to this is you get the promo card for the event. So this one was a Buzz Lightyear promo card. You can only get at Disney parks if you go for the pre-release. So the collector in me of card games, I do a lot of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and now Lorcana collecting is a great fun event. We were there at 6 a.m. There was hundreds of people. It extremely caught me off guard. I thought we were going to be not the only ones, but among the early. But no, we were in line for an hour and a half.
Wow!
We got there at rope drop. So it's cool to see the card game is such a big success, and we got to be in the heart of it with a bunch of families collecting of all ages and creeds. So a great morning.
That's so interesting. It's like on the one hand, trading card games are like less accessible than they've ever been because there's so much like scalping and actually like this almost kind of secondhand market manipulation, or I guess firsthand market manipulation via the secondhand market, which then drives the prices up and creates scarcity. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, when you think about like Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, in the show Yu-Gi-Oh, like in universe, it's like if you have a blue eyes white dragon, that's a really rare thing. And so that's inherently cool. So it's like extremely problematic for anybody who wants to get into the hobby as far as like the scarcity and how not accessible it is. But at the same time, this kind of like rarity of certain cards that's been created is kind of like what makes it feel cool, or at least how cool it felt when we were kids.
Absolutely. Just being at the pre-release, I was sitting there. We got our boxes and packs from there's this one little vendor that's actually the pin trading vendor, but on pre-release day for Lorcana is the only place you can get them. So we got our packs, we sat down, my wife went to get a coffee, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm at like this little cafe, and everyone around me are opening up booster boxes. So I'm just enjoying the view. And the guy next to me, he's sitting alone, and I hear him go like, oh, like to kind of scoff to himself. And I look over, and he pulled a card that is called an Iconic. And so Iconics, for clarification, this box has 24 packs in it, right? An Iconic card is the rarest card you can pull from a Disney booster box, and it's 1 in 2,000 packs. So he pulled a $1 in $2,000 2,000 pack card, which was Merida from Brave.
Oh man, shiny hunting over here.
And yeah, and the card is like $2,000 on eBay. People go crazy for these super rare cards. And he told me it was his fourth pack of Lorcana he'd ever opened. He bought two at Target, and then he bought the box, sat down, opened it, second pack, pulled like the rarest card you can find. And so it was really cool to just like, I've never even seen an iconic card. They were like, they're a myth,
Wow.
you know? And I saw him open it right next to me on pre-release. I was like, this is what it's all about. This is exciting.
That is pretty cool. At the same time, I have mixed feelings about the lack of accessibility to these hobbies when like a lot of them are designed for children, and children are just not the people engaging with it. But regardless, yeah. Oop, my food just fell out of my mouth.
We'll slow-mo that part in post.
It's a double-edged sword.
Aside from card games, we have a good lineup of exciting video game and franchise movie media news that we're gonna go through. I'm like super excited because these are all IPs that I think are near and dear to me. Some old, some recent. And they all look like home runs, and we can even discuss how we feel about them. So I'm gonna screen share to get us rolling here with our first. And all of you watching, don't look at the tabs for spoilers. But we have here our first big talking point. We got the Resident Evil official teaser trailer in 4K at that. Parker, why don't you break us off a little knowledge on like what we got here, how we got here.
Oh, yeah, you want me? Okay, so
yeah, dive on in.
Yeah, so I mean, what we're looking at here is the latest movie from Zach Kreger, who he kind of gained his name in Hollywood by making Barbarian and Weapons, and he, you know, it's special because he directed and wrote those movies. So, you know, I think anytime there's like a new director who is also writing their movies, that, you know, people they kind of get this I don't know, like league of movies. I'm pantheon. I'm struggling to find the word. But you know, they get this track record going for themselves, where they are, you know, like your Christopher Nolans or your Guillermo del Toro's. You know, like I feel like the directors that are writing their own movies are, you know, like the greats, so to speak. So he's kind of become known as that person for horror movies, and so he is tackling Resident Evil, which is possibly the biggest survival horror franchise in all of video games. It's kind of like the original survival horror genre game. So for him to be kind of like the king of horror right now, I mean, maybe not the king, but like this promising new talent taking on such a beloved IP and being such a big fan of that IP, it's extremely exciting because, you know, this is not the first Resident Evil movie to ever get made. We had those Mia Jovovich, Paul W.S. Anderson movies, and there was like 6 of them, and they were very campy, which Resident Evil as a franchise is kind of known for being both, yes, horror and also campy at the same time, and it kind of has to be in order to create that variety as a video game franchise. But as a movie franchise, that's always kind of felt like a weird thing that they were doing, and I think those movies are not technically considered canon, despite some characters from the video games appearing in like cameos and whatnot throughout those movies. I've only really seen the first Mia Jovovich movie, and I thought it was fine. I mean, I liked it a lot way back when, but I rewatched it recently and was like, yeah, okay. So, you know, and everybody says that's the best one. So, you know, zero motivation to watch the rest of her movies. And, you know, when you're making a horror franchise, it has to be a scary movie. I think like that's crucial, despite Resident Evil being fun as a video game franchise because it's more than just horror. I think if you're trying to get people to see a movie, like general audiences to go see a movie, it's got to be horror first because that's what people are there for, and then you can kind of incorporate some comedic, campy elements. So by all means, I feel like that's what I'm kind of getting from this trailer. And I'll pause there and kind of let you give your thoughts.
Yeah, I think you opened up the conversation very well there. Looking at this trailer, I am super excited because I'm seeing a lot of elements to me that are like Resident Evil coded, but I don't recognize them from the game. So I think that it kind of plays into this trope I see with Resident Evil of them being almost an anthology series where it jumps around a lot. And I think it would be cool if it's connected to the games, but if it didn't at the same time, I wouldn't be upset. You put me on Resident Evil earlier this year, and since then I've gotten my brother, one of my best friends, my dad, we're all playing different games, trading them, and having a great time with all of them. I just actually started playing Resident Evil 2 again, playing Claire's Path, since I got it back in my hands from my dad. So I'm in heat with this, you know, I'm all about like Resident Evil right now. I'm in the honeymoon phase, and this was like, boom, right when I was like hoping for more content. With 9 out, that's like on my horizon to play. Looking at this trailer, it sparks a lot of questions of like, where are we? Who's this guy? Some of the creatures look kind of familiar. There's like a Mr. X kind of guy. People are calling him Mr. XL.
Like a blob.
Yeah,
Mr. XL. There you go.
So I'm really excited. And like you said, I think the other ones were not as scary and they were more action movies. And this one actually looks scary. And yeah, with a Barbarian was really good and really creepy. I think I see a lot of that kind of atmosphere in this. So I'm super excited to go see this in September. And I'm very reserved about my theater going experience. I don't really go unless I'm compelled to. And this I will go to theaters to watch, especially horror genre. I feel like is a great theater experience.
Yeah, I feel like this movie is going to do pretty well because I think people are familiar with Resident Evil at this point. Like, it's because there was 6 movies, like they know that it's supposed to be like a horror franchise, but maybe they've seen like a couple of them and they're like, yeah, okay, you know, it's kind of over the top, whatever. But then maybe they saw Weapons. I haven't seen Barbarian yet, I should say, but I have seen Weapons, and was deeply affecting and upsetting, but in all the right ways. And so, you know, to see, oh, the guy that did that is working on Resident Evil, and I can see that this is clearly horror. I think that's like a big positive. I think like the way it's being marketed and sold is perfect. Now, I have seen a contingency of people online, some discourse from, you know, quote unquote Resident Evil fans that are complaining that this doesn't feel like a Resident Evil movie. They feel that it's a generic horror movie with Resident Evil slapped on as the title. And I think the statement people say is like, the new Resident Evil movie trailer doesn't look like Resident Evil, and that's a problem. And I have my own thoughts on that, but before I give my thoughts, what's your take?
I think for them, they're eager, and I respect it, but I think this trailer does a lot to show it from the perspective of someone who doesn't know what's going on, and it's going to unravel a lot more about there's probably going to be some kind of virus and all that. And they don't need to show all that in the trailer because to the mass audience, they're not going to understand that. They're going to understand this like visual horror, and that's going to get them in the theater. And then they're going to get that big backstory these people are complaining that they didn't see in a 2-minute trailer of like horror highlights to look forward to. So I think that those people are just impatient, and I'm going to translate that as they're really excited and they don't even know it yet.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. And also, like, I think it's the lowest hanging fruit engagement bait statement somebody could be making on the internet in regards to this movie. I mean, let's be real here. It looks great. It looks awesome. And I really like your point from earlier about how you said Resident Evil is kind of like an anthology series, because I've been playing a lot of Resident Evils just this year. I mean, back in October, I played 7 and Village, and then I played Requiem, which was 9, and I played the original, like 1, 2, and 3. And then I just beat 4. I was actually, I'm working on like the original 4. I'm working on the like Ada Separate Ways extra chapter on the original Resident Evil
nice.
right now. So, Yeah, I'm like very Resident Evil pilled right now, and I totally agree with your take. Like it kind of is an anthology series. It's always kind of constantly doing something new, but there are always like constant motifs, lots of doors, weapons that, like, we just saw a shot where he opened up a shotgun and it had, no shells in it. And that's like a constant struggle in Resident Evil games, is that, you've got a weapon, but maybe you don't have any ammo. And I feel like Zach Kreger is taking those motifs of, the experience of playing the game and kind of creating a movie out of it, saying like, okay, well, and I believe he said this in an interview where he's the main character starts with a pistol, then he upgrades to a shotgun, and then he gets like a little submachine gun at one point. And that's like a very typical progression in like Resident Evil 2, for example. And this movie, I believe, is said to be taking place at the same time as Resident Evil 2, with the big outbreak in Raccoon City, which is, I think, that's like the quintessential Resident Evil event. It's almost like the thing that the franchise can never get away from, because it's kind of like the big thing that takes place. So that kind of kicks off the whole franchise, right? So I think like the fact that we're getting a movie that takes place in that time, it doesn't follow an established character, so we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the fate of this character is going to be. And we've got a director who loves the games, who is putting in these little motifs. There's even like a green herb in the background of one of these shots in the trailer.
I missed that.
And he's creating kind of like, he's having fun kind of creating his own characters, like Mr. XL and whatnot. And the main character is going to a hospital at one point, and Jill Valentine goes into a hospital in Resident Evil 3. And so, like, the herb was in that shot a second ago.
Oh, with the phone? I'll have to see it next loop around.
Yeah. So I look at this and I'm just like, this is perfect. I don't think we'll ever get the Chris Redfield led Resident Evil movie, but if we do, it's gonna come from stemming off of something like this. Like, something like this needs to be made in order to appeal to a general audience, to get people like into it. And if this does really well, and then they decide they want to make another one, like, then we can kind of debate whether we should play around with, the regular Resident Evil players. But I think this is like, it's all green light for me. Like, it's no red flags, all green flags I'm getting from this.
So looking at this, what are some like predictions or hopes that you want from the movie? An example that came to mind for me is I want to see like the first act or second act end with this character typing on a typewriter as if he's saving his progress before like the third act. Like, things like that would be really cool to see. That's the first one that came to mind. But what about you? What do you got?
Yeah, I want to see like some kind of puzzle. Like,
oh yeah,
the series is known for having these really random environmental puzzles where like, okay, I need to get into this room, but I need this ruby gem, which is inside the hand of this statue, which I needed to slot into things to get it to open its hand to give me the, and so like, there's a lot of weird stuff like that throughout the series.
There's the herb. I see it.
Yeah, there's the herb. So, any kind of like small thing like that, I think would be like, even if it's tiny, like in the trailer, you can see he's trying to grab these car keys from this body that then gets dragged away. And that's already kind of giving me that vibe. Like that, like in this case, the environmental puzzle is, oh, I found a car and it's potentially my only way out of here. I need to find the keys. And then you go to the keys and the keys get dragged away. And then, it's leading him on this little side quest that he has to go through in order to get back to the main thing. That was the car. So, like, even that to me is like good enough. But if they just give me like one weird door in a building that's got like decorations on it for some odd reason, where some special key or a diamond gem needs to open it for some odd reason, like, just give me at least one of those and I'll be like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. So overall, super exciting. I can't wait for this, and I'm almost worried about seeing a more extended trailer. I don't want to. I want to avoid. I just want to see this, and then next thing I'm in the theater, because Hollywood has a way of overselling you and spoiling their own products. So I'm gonna avoid this from now on, but I look forward to seeing it in September.
Totally agree with that. I think part of the reason I enjoyed Weapons so much is because I didn't know anything about it going into it. I had only seen, but even then, like having never seen a trailer, I'd seen a lot of the like, I don't know, still images and stuff like that, just kind of like on the internet or just like references to it. So, yeah, I would like to avoid as much of that as possible going into this movie for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we can move on now to our next topic here.
Well, before we do,
any final thoughts?
Final Resident Evil related thing. I just wanted to say I woke up this morning to some news that the Resident Evil Requiem, which is the latest Resident Evil, just got updated with a new little mini game today. Oh. They added a mini game called Leon Must Die Forever, which is an amazing name because they essentially added this mode to Resident Evil Requiem where you play as Leon and you kind of just need to kind of progress through different sections of the main story, and you're trying to survive as long as you can. You kind of get like cool upgrades along the way. I haven't played it yet, but I've just been reading about it and it sounds really cool. And I love that they called it Leon Must Die Forever because Resident Evil is a Capcom franchise, and I think like Resident Evil's like cousin series at Capcom is Devil May Cry, because the first Devil May Cry game was originally a prototype for Resident Evil 4. So they're kind of like, they're not the same universe, but they are, related in tandem to each other as just like two of the biggest franchises at Capcom. And in Devil May Cry games, the hardest difficulty is usually called Dante Must Die. Dante being the main character in Devil May Cry. So the fact that they're like, oh yeah, we have a new game mode in the new Resident Evil, Leon Must Die Forever, and it's like, okay,
I love that.
You're having fun.
It makes me think that this new game mode is more like a roguelike, which plays well into our final topic for today. But you're gonna be like spawning in, getting as far as you can, and then you eventually have to die, like Call of Duty Zombies.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there is like a final boss that you can reach. But I'll get back to you. I'm planning on playing it.
Yeah, I want to report back on that one because I'm eager to get. I've been looking at PS5s. Coincidentally, my PS4 is now bugging, so I'm like, oh my god, do I replace my PS4 and get a PS5? All these things. I gotta finish playing Resident Evil 2. It's a bit of a dilemma of console I'm trying to figure out. But 5 will be played. Or 9 will be played soon. I'm super excited.
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna close this tab. We're gonna start our next topic here. Boom, we are going into the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Oh yeah. So yeah, I finally got to see this. I finally got to see this in theaters. Late to the party as usual, but still invited. And I'll just go right into it. I love this movie. I had a great time with this movie.
Oh, good.
I thought it was a great plot that was very like easy to follow. At its core, it's a kids movie, so there's gonna be like things that are watered down, I guess you could say. But overall, I had a great time with it. I laughed out loud a lot. I found the music to be good. Yoshi was awesome. All the references I got were like spot on, and Bowser's whole presentation in the film I thought was super compelling. I think this movie, I have this disposition, I guess you could say, where my wife and I always argue, and I always say that I'm a sequel guy. I like sequels more than the first. Exhibit A, Shrek 2.
Well, okay? Yeah.
So, and I think if you rack your mind, you'll find like the Star Wars sequel, Empire Strikes Back, the Dark Knight. Exactly. I'm a sequel guy, and so this falls right in tandem with that. Is I always like the sequels more than the first kind of proof of concept, and I'm excited to see where they go from here.
I am so glad you enjoyed it because I also really enjoyed it. I remember the reviews came out and I was like, uh-oh. But then I also remember that the reviews were not particularly positive on the first movie either. And I was initially not stoked on the first movie the first time that I saw it, but I think I've seen it like 4 times now, and I've really come around on it. I think my expectations as far as like story were a bit too much, and I needed to kind of chill out and think like, okay, it is for kids. It needs to be easy to follow. Mario is not something that is known for its story at all, and it was always going to be a struggle trying to make the world of Mario make sense. It's just like, oh yeah, there's power-ups. Cool. Just don't think twice about it, right? That being said, I think one of my biggest critiques of the first movie was that I felt like it leaned too heavily into the licensed music, like playing "I Need a Hero" during the training montage was just the most obvious pick. And there's like a couple other needle drops in that first movie, but the second movie they really didn't do too many of those. The only one I can think of was close to the beginning of the movie with Yoshi, when they show him like walking around. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah, that was like Notorious, right?
Yeah. And that, like, it made me crack up. I was like, I didn't even think about the fact that it was a needle drop in the moment. I was just like, I just cracked up when it happened. So I thought that they were firing on all cylinders with like everything that they were trying to set out to do making this movie. Like it was just a totally fun time. Like if I just turned my brain off and just focused on the like Nintendo fan in me, I was like, this is fantastic. Like I would love to be a kid watching this right now. I mean, I'm an adult watching
it too. It's so good with the castle falling.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah, look at that. Like I mean like it's almost so insane how good the animation quality is. Like I look at this movie and I'm like, it is packed with stuff. It's got all of the stuff, and it's like this could not have been cheap to produce. Like every single shot is there's just details and movement and like dynamic camera movements, and I mean not in some of these shots, but like it's just mind-blowing how much craft goes into making a movie like this, and I think they just nailed it. Yeah. I mean, like, dude. Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Like some of the other parts I really like too is I like all the locales. Like they kept it moving. Like just this trailer, they are constantly in new places. Some movies they always end up back where they started, and I'm kind of like, yawn. I want to be somewhere new. I think it was really cool too. Like even though it's the Mario Galaxy movie, there was a lot about Peach. There's a lot about like Luigi and Yoshi. Like it felt like more of an ensemble movie, like the Nintendo movie, rather than the Mario movie.
Yeah, totally.
I was really happy with how they, I don't know the lore of the Mario characters in the games as much, but like the whole thing with Peach having like Rosalina as like a sister, and like their star like more sensitive beings.
Spoiler alert on that one. But yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you're watching this, yeah. Whoops.
It's been out for 5 weeks, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I'm late to the party, so you weren't invited. You get to hear about the
the Mario lore is not that deep. It's very much just like the lore is, I think, just based entirely on like character relationships and motivations. Mario's the hero, his brother is Luigi. He likes to hang out with Princess Peach, and she gets kidnapped by Bowser, and so he needs to go save her. And Luigi comes sometimes. Sometimes Yoshi comes. Sometimes Toad's there too. And like that's Mario lore, right? But as far as this whole Peach and Rosalina being sisters thing, that was like brand new to the movie. It's not an established thing, so it was a big surprise for people watching the movie to find out that they were sisters, because in the original Mario Galaxy games, that was just not at all an established component to it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like in my position where they know these characters from Smash Bros, but they don't know the relationships they all have. And I think that this movie also does a good job of priming up for something even bigger. We have a lot of cast of characters, and like, Donkey Kong has like a moment in this movie, which I thought he would be like a bigger picture, but it makes sense. Like this story isn't around his like concern. But I think the way that they're kind of framing Bowser as like a redeemable kind of like good, bad, anti-hero kind of guy, I feel like my mind was they're gonna make him have to rally up with the gang here to stop Master Hand at some point.
Oh, Master Hand. Okay, Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like Miyamoto has said in interviews that he's not trying to head towards a Smash Brothers movie, but I feel like they just gotta at some point, like, I don't know, within the next 20 years, I feel like a Smash Brothers movie has to exist. It could end up happening way sooner than that. I mean, well, so your point earlier, like there's a lot of different locales and whatnot. Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's an interesting thing about this movie in that, like, the critics and the audience do not agree as far as like how good the movie is. The critics are like, it's not that great, and I mean, I can objectively look at this and be like, well, yeah, it's not that great, but it's also amazing, right? And there's been a lot of stuff like that, and I think a major critique of this movie is that because it is just so reference heavy, it is a lot of just like boom this location, boom this location, boom this location. Like the whole part where there's like the T-Rex and their baby Mario and baby Luigi, you know, if you wanted to cut for time, that would have been the sequence to cut for time. Or like the casino in the Gateway Galaxy with Peach. Like, yeah, you could have cut that for time. But that's also like, you know, the casino is a big Super Mario Brothers 2 reference with Wart and Birdo and the Ninjas. And then you've got with the T-Rex part, like that's a big Super Mario Odyssey reference. So like, you know, I think they just looked at, you know, what's our priority, and that is to like just fulfill fan service for the fans and put in things that will just be references to them that they'll recognize and elicit this like constant nostalgic happy feeling. And I don't think the movie would have been as strong if they didn't include those unnecessary sequences. It's the fact that they are there and we're having fun with it that makes the movie as a whole picture just a really good time.
Absolutely. You know, speaking of that T-Rex, there he is. I really thought he was going to come back in the third act and get hit by that gun to be brought back at a timely spot to his appropriate age. And, you know, there are little gripes I have with the movie. I think that the ending was so rushed that I was like, it's over. We're not going to talk about
That's fair.
several things. That part kind of, I wanted more. However, I did not stay long enough to see if there was like a post-credit scene, so I'm not sure on that front.
Ooh.
Maybe you can inform me.
There were 2 post-credit scenes.
Oh, okay. So did they hint towards a future project or kind of like wrap up?
Well, maybe kind of, sort of. It's hard to say. The first post-credit sequence. So at the end of this trailer, you see the little the blue Luma dressed like a cop from the first movie.
I didn't see that in the movie. I saw that here. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, so that's from the first post-credit sequence. That sequence is Fox is like leaving the jail where they jailed up Bowser and Bowser Jr. And Fox, like, he dips out, he gets in the R-Wing, and he's like, I'm headed home. That's a crazy family back there in the jail cell. You know, hope they can sort things out. I'm out of here. And then he just like flies off. And then Bowser and Bowser Jr. are just like, oh my gosh, what is that? And then the blue Luma is like, I'm coming to get you. And that's kind of just like the whole sequence.
He's coming to get Bowser and Bowser Jr.?
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what he says, but you know, like that little blue Luma in the first movie was just known for being just extremely dark humor in this children's movie. So, you know, it's just kind of like a fun little like, oh, we included that guy again. And so it's kind of like, okay, like that's what happened to Fox. Like he went home and he helped with jailing Bowser and Bowser Jr. The second sequence was just like very brief, showed Daisy at the Gateway Galaxy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's... there was a part too where Luigi was like, does she have a friend or a girl? Like, Kaz leaned over and she's like, Daisy. So
yeah,
I was expecting that. I will say too, on the topic of Rosalina, out of nowhere, I felt like she was underused, but also they like
Totally.
used her really, really good because like I didn't know anything about her, but she looks super powerful and she's got like her wand and like it was a nice amount of that character introduced. And I'm like expecting her to kind of have a quarter or more screen time in the next one, based on how like the fandom is receiving her.
Yeah, I would have liked for her. I mean, she had her big moment at the very beginning of the movie, and then she was just kind of a plot device from there on. I would have liked to have seen like one more big moment from her, even a medium-sized moment from her at the end of the movie, because it kind of just concluded with I don't know, the power of sisterhood and problem solved. So yeah, there's plenty to critique in the movie, but at the same time, it's like it's a Mario movie, dude.
Yeah, I think my last critique was like they really took advantage of my suspended disbelief with Bowser at the end with like the double kill off, and then he's fine as like a
I
skeleton.
can imagine a critic that doesn't know anything. I've been thinking about this. A critic that doesn't know anything about how like the Mario world works, or just like the fact that dry Bowser is a thing, which is almost kind of like its own niche. Even within like Nintendo and Mario, it's like, dry Bowser is in maybe like one or two games, and you just kind of have to know that, like, conceptually that exists. And there's like dry bones, which are basically just skeleton Koopas, right? But I imagine if I was a critic that didn't know anything about Mario lore, so when I see the big villain fall into the lava, I'm like, oh wow, they really killed him off. And then to see him come back as a skeleton, I would be like, well, okay then. So like, death is not final. What the hell? Like, how do we?
Yeah.
Where's the end? Where are the stakes?
And I'm like, they're gonna have to bring back regular Bowser somehow in the next one, because they got like, it's Bowser. They want him in his original form. Perhaps I don't think they're gonna commit to this skeleton dry Bowser forever. But they didn't kind of wrap that up. When they were in jail in the cutscene, were they regular or skeleton? Was he?
He was a skeleton. Yeah, he was just a head.
Still. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That part I was like, there's a lot of magic, and you go along with it, but like that was just like a little egregious.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of any dry reversal methods in the Mario universe. I don't know if there's just like a skin mushroom or something. Like, I really have no idea.
Skin mushroom, interesting. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I got on this. I'm excited for the future of it. I do hope they go the Super Smash Bros. Route and throw in all the IPs. Well, okay, take their time with it. Really Avengers it. Get some
let's talk
in.
about that. Let's talk about Star Fox. What did you think about his presence in the movie and just all of his sequences?
I loved it. I thought that they put him in a part where I wasn't expecting to see him yet. I thought we'd see him later. I thought we'd see the whole gang, but they really kind of threw this like, I'm from a different universe, I'm here trying to get back. I really like that whole sequence actually of like it's like an anime style kind of like origin.
Yeah, different art style.
Yeah, that was sick. I wish his voice was a little bit more like the OG, but this movie's not the one to complain about voice acting. I thought the sequence of fighting the UFO was stellar, but I was upset with how baby Bowser Jr. just kind of like was able to shoot it with, that gun of all things. I'm like, that was a little bit, I was like, but overall I really enjoyed it. I like the musical motifs.
Dude, okay, let's talk about quickly the musical motifs.
They did use the barrel roll a little too much. I think they brought it up 3 times.
Oh, really? I only remember the one time.
There was a few times they were like, do a barrel roll, and I was like, there's other quotes that you can use.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, yeah. You're right. I think like the only one I can distinctly remember was when Toad says to Fox like, "Do a barrel roll," and I was like, "Oh yeah, barrel roll." Yeah. What I loved in the musical motifs, they used so the track itself is actually it's like the Venom theme from the original Star Fox game, but the Venom theme was reworked into being like the Corneria stage theme in Super Smash Bros. Melee, and that's like that version of the track was kind of the one that they referenced when they played it in the movie for like a quick second, where it was just like duh, duh, dun, 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 dun. And it was just like, if you've ever played Smash Melee, you've heard that a million times, and then to be watching it on the big screen and you see freaking Star Fox doing his thing, and then you hear that, I was just like, oh, I loved it.
I really just want more Star Fox. I want his solo movie of how he got here from the Lilat system, or his return back, and then I don't know, but I really enjoy, I think with our next topic and this one, I forgot how much I loved the franchise of Star Fox and like the world they built, the music. I was just showing my wife the music from Star Fox 64 because she heard it in the movie, and I was just like, well, this is the original, and then I was like just playing all of the OST. It was very nostalgic, so I'm definitely gonna pop in my old copy of Star Fox 64 and run through the Lilat a couple times.
You should. You should. I played through it about a year ago. I played through all the way like through the hard path, to, the true ending with James McLeod and all of that.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, that game like really holds up, which a perfect transition into our next topic, which is the fact that they are making a new Star Fox game, and it's literally a remake of Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a bit of history here, but I want to hear kind of your thoughts and feelings first.
You sent me this, and I was so excited. I loved everything I saw. I loved just looking at the combat system. It looks fresh and beautiful, and like I think that it does provide enough to want to, like, a lot of times you're like, why not just play the first one? I think this one does, from what I see, provide enough for me to want to play this one. I don't know which one I'll go back to and play more of, but yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I think they add more levels and more of like a hub for you to like choose your next mission. All these things I didn't know I wanted. And the facial recognition kind of like augmented reality stuff that they were showing was pretty interesting.
Wild.
I don't know if I'm going to use that myself. I don't know a lot still, but I'm excited with what I see. I think that's my like first hot take right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo sells video games, and it's all made for a child audience, and they are so good at it that when those children grow up and become adults like us, we are still fans of it. And it serves them really well because then we can show it to our kids, right? And so I think it's really cool that they're remaking Star Fox 64, despite the fact that it feels like they've never done anything but that. Like I read a whole breakdown of this where it's like, okay, there's the original Star Fox game for the Super Nintendo, and then they did Star Fox 2 was about to be released on the Super Nintendo, but then they like pulled it because of other games just had better graphics at that time, so they just never released it, which it didn't. It later got released through the like Nintendo Switch Online Super Nintendo app. That was like the official release of Star Fox 2, but I don't know anything about Star Fox 2. But Star Fox 1, they're just like, okay, you are this team of furry creatures in ships, and you have to take down Andros. Then Star Fox 64 was almost kind of like a remix of that. It was like, okay, yeah, it is that, but now there's a bit more of a story, there's voice acting, there's branching pathways and all of that. So not exactly a remake of the original Star Fox, but very closely being just like, the spiritual, not successor, but just like the spiritual parallel to it. Which then they made Star Fox 64 3D for the 3DS, and that was just Star Fox 64 again, but with slightly updated graphics for the 3DS handheld systems, pretty rad. And then they made Star Fox Zero for the Wii U, which is very Star Fox 64 coded in how it starts. I've never actually played that game, but from what I've been reading online the last couple of days, that game is not exactly a Star Fox 64 just redone version, despite it trying to appear that way in the first few levels. But but I don't know a ton about it beyond that because I never played it. So then them making this new Star Fox game for Nintendo Switch 2 and saying, yeah, it's a remake of 64. People are just like, wait, huh? Again? But I think it's genius because there's my version of this growing up, and then there's going to be like my son's version of this growing up, and like we'll be able to look at both. And like you mentioned, like there's mission select and like challenges that you can do to kind of go back and replay levels. They're not just giving it a story and realistic graphics and a fresh coat of paint and saying, play it again. They're adding more stuff to make it worth, the premium price point that they're charging for it. So I am stoked. It seems like this is the way to take the franchise forward. Is okay, let's reestablish everything in this new style. Let's set it in the same time as like let's do 64 again and call it Star Fox. And so like we're rebooting the whole thing. We're taking the story that everybody's familiar with, and that's where we're going to start. And then if this does well, then we can continue further expanding Star Fox games because we've brought it back successfully. Absolutely,
yeah. Well put. This part right here is actually good, like lore. I didn't know. Pigma here betraying James McCloud.
Oh, yeah,
like, I like seeing like more of the story because I think a lot of it is like text and just like narration in the first one. So it's cool if they actually give you cutscenes to build out that world. And it's exciting. I want to see more of this. I want to see the gang in another solar system. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. It is like, I think Star Fox to me is like, they didn't make a lot of stuff with it compared to like Mario. So it is like a bit of a undiscovered universe. We all know we all have like the same keyhole. We're looking into the Star Fox franchise, and they really have not done a lot with it, which has made it in turn endless possibilities from here. I'm excited to see where they take it. I think I heard whispers of like a competitive online battle kind of scenario.
Well, competitive can mean a lot of different things. Competitive in that like it is like against your friends. I don't know if they'll have like ranked modes and whatnot. But yeah, there is kind of like an online multiplayer component for sure. The facial capture stuff, like you have to have the like Switch 2 camera accessory, which is like $55 or $60. So I will probably never play that or never use that feature. But the fact that it's there, like when my son is old enough to play games and enjoy them, if he really wants that camera for his birthday, then I'll get him the camera, and then I'll be like, oh, hey, this is pretty cool Star Fox feature. Look, you're Falco, I think all of that stuff is pretty rad. Like the only times I think they've really expanded Star Fox beyond 64 was like Star Fox Adventures, Star Fox Assault, Star Fox Command. Like they have made other Star Fox games, but I think there is like a clear reason why they keep going back to this because all of those games are just so different. Star Fox Adventures is like a Zelda game, but it's got Star Fox. It was originally a completely different project called Dinosaur Planet that like halfway through the development of it, they said, okay, we need to slap Star Fox onto this as the IP to sell copies. So it was never Star Fox first, but I hold that game in a very special place in my heart, even though it is like not Star Fox in the way that Nintendo probably wants me to think about Star Fox. And then Star Fox Assault is very much like this. Okay, yeah, you can be like shooting on foot, you can be getting in your Landmaster, you can be jumping into your R-Wing, and there's multiplayer. That game, for all intents and purposes, was a very cool game, but it didn't have that like branching story pathway thing at all, which I feel like is what really was the innovative thing when Star Fox 64 came out. So it was like, yes, more Star Fox, but like, what's the goal? And I think that's kind of why we haven't gotten a lot of Star Fox since then. I didn't really play Star Fox Command, but I remember it was a DS game, and the innovative thing was that you could kind of, use your stylus on the bottom screen, and the bottom screen would be a map, and it was kind of like I'm trying to direct, my team members like Falco, Slippy, and Peppy. Like I want them to kind of take these routes for this firefight that we're in. So it was kind of like a way of doing more than one thing at a time. So, and that is kind of like an innovative thing, and Nintendo loves to innovate whenever they make anything. And I think the thing that is innovative about this, because one of my favorite things about Star Fox 64 is like the sound effects and the vibes, and like just the sound, or the guy going, like, you start the stage and you hear the narrator go, "Good luck," and like, or it'll be like, "We need your help, Star Fox," and like all of that. And I feel like you're not really gonna get that from this, because I think why it was actually a pretty smart idea to do this like odd, realistic animal switcheroo on the character designs, because that, although it is extremely uncanny and feels strange, I think it's really making this thing feel like it has its own identity, and it's not just another Star Fox game with a fresh coat of paint. Like it's really like a hard reset of everything, and it's like, okay, maybe the sound effects are not going to like hit you in the simplicity that they had in the N64 version, but you're going to look at Fox and, I don't know, you're going to think about Rocket Raccoon, and you're going to have this whole kind of like, I don't know, it just gives it its own kind of fresh charm that it otherwise didn't have. I will always be partial to the original designs because I think they're sick, but I understand why they went in this direction.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of people upset with how Falco looks, especially. I don't really think he looks that good either, but I'm willing to like let it marinate before I like. I don't know. I'm not gonna not buy the game because Falco looks too bird-like.
Right.
That's like, but everyone else looks great. I think he specifically has like a weird hunch to him. He looks like an old man compared if you put him next to like Falco from Ultimate. It's
I
just
know.
like,
it's like that's what a bird should be like, right? Like they really committed to the bit. So I agree. I like Falco has all the riz in the Star Fox series, and it's like they massacred my boy. Like, what did they do? But cautiously optimistic with that. I mean, I look at James McLeod here with his sunglasses, and I'm like, yo, that guy's cool. Like, I'd get a guy,
All these characters look so good here. It's just Falco for some reason, and Slippy too looks a little too gelatinous, I guess.
Yeah,
but he is like an amphibian, so
I like that. I think Slippy's design looks great. Peppy's design looks great. Fox is like, once you get used to the fat neck thing, it also looks great. It's definitely like his feet and Falco's feet have been a big talking point, because Fox's feet like are a fox's feet, and it looks really weird. And then Falco is just like, he's got full on like combat boots in Ultimate, and then you look at this and it's like he's got raptor feet, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, it's like a bit odd. Pigeon.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for this game. When we were talking about the pathways of planets, it actually reminded me of Battlefront 2 Galactic Conquest, and that kind of layout in a video game that I actually really enjoy. That it's almost like a sort of turn-based version of a flight simulator is what it feels like a bit, but there is no other player, so I don't know what to call that. But I like that, where there's time to pause and make a choice that then you dive into the weeds in after, and then you go back to the macro choices. I really like that kind of format of like Battlefront 2 Galactic Conquest. I find that to be fun. It's like a resting point, and you get to see where everything's at. So I hope they do more of that with this, where there's way more planets to choose, and there's like more incentives to take other paths that maybe go beyond alternate endings, but something, I don't know what they could add to make me want to do these different paths more aggressively.
Yeah, I don't want it to be just like an easy path and a hard path thing like they did in the original game. Like I would like to see more variety if possible. If there's not, like I won't be too upset because they did say like, oh, it's just based on Star Fox 64, but I don't know, like some extra levels would be a plus. I mean, the game Star Fox 64 you can beat in like 2 hours. So it's good that they added like challenges and like replayability to this game, but they are still like they do have to justify selling it for it's $50 digital, $60 physical, which I ended up pre-ordering the physical copy yesterday because I don't own any physical Switch 2 games, and I looked at that cover art and I said, yeah, dude, I want that on my shelf. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm a proponent of physical media. There's definitely some fun to be had by owning physical copies of things, and you often get more depending on DVDs for movies and such, you tend to get more for what you pay for.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to also see in this game if there will be DLCs of maybe some kind of Mario universe map of like
that'd be cool,
right? Like
I'd be into that.
I don't know, like what kind of planet, because it's not about the planet, it's about the space around the planet. So it couldn't be Mushroom Kingdom, but like the air around the kingdom. Maybe you get really close to the ground and you're fighting off Koopas or something.
Yeah. So like my tinfoil hat theory about like what Nintendo's strategy is in this like current era of Nintendo, like the Nintendo Switch 2 era specifically, or I guess the post Super Mario Brothers movie era, I think their strategy is I think they want to just reboot everything. Just give everything a fresh coat of paint. Like we did we basically rebooted Donkey Kong. We are rebooting Star Fox. I mean, they did Kirby Air Riders, which is kind of like, you know, Kirby Air Ride reboot, so to speak. There's a rumored, Ocarina of Time remake coming. I think they like want to firmly reestablish the audience's relationship with all of their IP. And they're doing that through these strategic moves, like, we're rebooting Star Fox. Well, let's put him in the Mario Galaxy movie, which was already its own kind of Mario reboot, so to speak. And I just feel like that's what they want to do, and like that, I think that opens the door up to, I don't know, an F-Zero game at some point.
Yes.
Like that no longer feels like an impossibility. They brought back Metroid Prime. Like they are looking at all of their IP and they're saying like, okay, like what are we going to make in each of these that's for the Switch 2 that's going to like bring in as much of an audience as possible. Like Splatoon, for example, I've never played a Splatoon game. There's 3 of them. And but then they just announced this Splatoon Raiders game that's coming to the Switch in a couple of months. And it's like a single player campaign with a story and objectives. And like Splatoon games, I think, are traditionally like multiplayer, kind of like, like school level, like school appropriate shooting games, like third person shooting games. And for them to kind of like take that gameplay that they've mastered from like the multiplayer element of that series and say, all right, we're going to make our own like single player story. I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of interested in that. Like, yeah. I'm not just interested in shooting ink and doing death matches all the time. You putting me on an island and there's a story like that for me is going to probably lead to me playing a Splatoon game for the first time. So I think that's like a big component of their strategy right now is like, how do we reconnect the audience to the IP that most of them are very familiar with because of the Smash Brothers series. And whenever we get a new Smash Brothers game, I feel like it's going to be rooted in all of these like updated versions of it. I mean, that's what they traditionally do with Smash Brothers games, but I feel like with Ultimate having been what it was, being like the ultimate Smash Brothers game with like 90 something characters in it, there's no way they can repeat that with like everybody's here. So I feel like Smash Brothers is going to need its own reboot in a way, and however they choose to change up that formula, I think a lot of it is going to be, rooted in these like new versions of all of the characters that they've introduced in their games in the Switch 2 generation.
Yeah, that's going to be quite the project. I don't know what else they could add to like Ultimate. Like, what is Ultimate lacking from like a functional amenities perspective? I know like you can always change like the art style of the characters, but I don't know what else they could add to that wouldn't just be better as a DLC. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, it's not like they can just say anthropomorphic fucks, like a new character. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like they'd have to make a new game in order to get like the new version of Donkey Kong with like his eyeballs and like Rosalina on his back and like smashing everything. Anyway, I could get a whole discussion on Smash Brothers, but we've got another topic today, I believe.
Oh, okay. Here we go, folks. We got another topic here. You have it, right?
Oh, was I supposed to pull something up?
Oh, you said we have another topic. I don't have a topic.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Pokemon.
Oh, I thought we were going to do that in our next one.
Oh, my bad.
That's a teaser for next time, folks.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're not doing Pokemon. We're not doing Pokemon.
Yeah, I think we went through a lot of great stuff today. A lot of stuff, all I'm excited for. Eager to get some gaming in. I think last year I was in a gamer loop of playing the same things over and over again because I was good at them and I enjoyed them. But I'm ready to try out some new games. I'm ready to be impressed and wowed and catch up.
Well, man, I think you should buy a Switch too, because I don't know if you saw the news today, but they just increased. Well, didn't just, but they will be increasing the price.
Oh,
yeah. In September. Granted, it's not that bad of a hit. And everybody expected the Switch 2 price to go up. Xbox did it first. PlayStation 5 upgraded their price. And their price hikes were from like $500 to like $650. The Switch 2, it's going from $450 to $500, which is really not that bad. And it doesn't get implemented until September. So if you're thinking about getting one, get it now. Save yourself $50 if you know you're gonna just.
I'll add it to the list. I gotta get that PS5. I gotta get a new PS4, Switch 2. Let's get an Xbox while we're at it.
No, you don't need to do that. There's really no reason to do that unless you're a big Halo fan. I mean, well, you are actually, but like
I'm like all right. I play
Halo fan
once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I have my Xbox, but it gets booted up a few times a year. Anyway, regardless, so there is a price hike. If you're, what you got to do is just when these things come out is you just buy them. Like you play the game of, can I get through all of the bots on Walmart.com, and then you've opened yourself up to this ability to buy this thing that people are clamoring for, and it's like, well, yeah, I gotta get it then, right? And you just don't think twice about the fact that you're about to spend $500 on it. Yeah, like 2021, I got my PS5 because those things were really hard to get because they came out in 2020 during the pandemic. I got my PS5 from a Wario64 Twitter post that said, oh, okay, you could get them from like Walmart as of like 3 seconds ago, but you have to get the bundle that comes with Spider-Man Miles Morales and NBA 2K, and it's $700. And I was like, done. Cool. Never cracked open in 2K, but I got a PS5. So,
Well, me and Josh always had a pact that we were going to wait for a PS5 that was like custom made to advertise like Battlefront 3, but that never happened. So we were like, well, we never bought it, but we wanted that like custom controller skinned. And then they had the anniversary one for like the OG. I think I talked about that years ago.
Oh yeah, that was a sick design.
Yeah, I wanted to get my hands on that one, but ended up not. But maybe one of these days I'll show you something really cool I have that no one else on this planet has. That is a PS5 accessory. I'm privy to that would blow your mind to a degree. Okay. What's that?
Is it like faceplates, like custom paint job faceplates?
Like
the wings, the white wings?
On the controller or the wings
on the system, because like the system, you know, it's like this like black thing in the middle, followed by these like
the Kaiba.
white... Yeah, exactly, the Kaiba collar.
No, I can actually. I'll just spill the beans here. So my parents do work with Sony on promotional products, and one of the things they made for Sony was a custom designed controller with the X's, triangles, squares, and O's all over it that never got released. It was only 3 samples were ever made, and they're sitting at my parents' house. Fully functional PS5 controllers, 3 of a kind.
That's freaking cool.
I'll send you a picture when I'm there next.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like NDA reasons, like you can't show.
Yeah, I don't. You'll see it, but yeah, I've been trying to get them for my mom. She's like, you don't even have a PS5. I'm like, I know, but these are like Exodia limbs.
Yeah, that's rad. That's really cool. Yeah, I just have like the white controllers. You know, I've thought about if I wanted to do like a paint job on them, but I'll probably come out with a PS6 in the next 1.5 to 2.5 years. So yeah,
that's the other thing is like I've been also kind of kicking the can down the road of the PS6. I keep hearing more and more about it.
All right.
But yeah, so it's a tough call. PS6, PS5, or Switch 2, and the Switch 2 is building its case. It's building a strong case.
It is. I mean, Resident Evil Requiem, it's available on Switch 2, and I've heard it looks pretty good. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as the PS5 version, but like, as long as the frame rate is good, dude, having a good time.
Yeah, I have my Switch 1. I think I told you I never play it. I never touch it. I feel like that era of Nintendo just missed me in game selection.
That sucks. There's just a lot of good games. Exclusive.
Well, that'll be our next video. We'll do Pokemon, and we'll do the podcast episode. Will be Parker sells Ryan on buying a Switch too.
Yeah, well. It would be more like Parker sells Ryan on buying more Switch games, because like Switch 2 is kind of hard because there's not a ton of games that are exclusive to it. You know, like I think the only real like exclusive game I played on my Switch 2 was Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Oh, and I guess Kirby Air Riders. But none of those on their own were like so good that I was like, yeah, totally justified my $500 purchase. So that's where like, Star Fox, I feel like that's going to be kind of like, okay, like now it really feels like I'm like Ocarina of Time remake. Yeah. Okay. Like this was,
Yeah. See, those sound like games I'll revisit a lot. I think Bonanza and Mario Kart World to me were like, I think I'd play them a bit and then never think of them again.
Yeah, Bonanza, I was kind of like happy that it was ending when I finished it. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm just ready to move on from this. And Mario Kart World was fun, but Mario Kart 8 was just so good that it's almost like just completely it feels like a little putter compared to the explosion that was Mario Kart 8,
Yeah. Well, cool. I think we're at a good spot to end it. I'm actually 40 minutes late for a meeting with my coworker. So we went a little long, but
You mean me?
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't know we were doing a work meeting today. All right, cool. Let's end it.
All right, cool. Well, this has been Ryan and Parker here with Contents Edge, chopping it up, and look forward to more media critique and regaling of fandom stories.
Sounds good. Yeah, we covered a lot today.
We really did. I'm excited for it all, man.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.